Heyo everyone, this is a HappyAnimaidCafeManager here with another walkthrough episode for the game Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. Man, the first day of the investigation sure is taking me quite a while. So anyway, let's see the events unfold. The kidnapper. What's he like? I don't know. Apparently Maya went to answer the phone call at the hotel and was drugged there. And she didn't see the face of her attacker. Maya's locked up in a very dark place right now. I'll tell you everything I heard when I was with her. When you were with her? Date, time, and location unknown. I'm starving. I could really go for some apple pie. I mean, at a time like this, sweets are the only way to go. I have to stay positive. He promised he wasn't going to kill me. I'm not going to die. Sis, I wonder if you're with Nick right now. What's this? It feels like there are a lot of glass bottles here, and they feel like barrels. I'll pass. I'm too bad I'm really hungry and not really thirsty. There's all sorts of things piled up here, but it's too dark to see. Drat, it's locked. But this door's lock seems easy enough to open. On TV, the hero always uses a plastic card or a stiff piece of cardboard. Then click, they magically open the door. I wonder if there's a card like that around here I could use. Somehow, someone dropped a card here. It kind of looks like a business card, but there's no name on it. It's a picture of a seashell, I think. What a strange card. That's it. This shell card. If I use this, maybe I could get the door open. This might be my key out of here. I had a feeling this card might be useful. I'm such a genius. Alright, now if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper. I did it! Okay, now I'm getting the heck out of here. I shouldn't keep Nick waiting, or worried. To be continued, baby. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there was someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Mia, we must get a complete acquittal today. I know, I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed, well, let's get going. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how should we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For myself, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial opens. Even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer, dude, who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Anyway, 10 a.m. that same day. Courtroom, District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt Ungard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. That's weird. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor, please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His presence, Ms. Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she does appear, this would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Ms. Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive in a stable condition. That's good. Phew. I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma could not appear in court today. I, Miles Edwards, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Whoa! Wow, it's about time. It's good to see it. Kind of good to see Edward make an appearance in court again. Been quite a while since the first game. So anyway, Ms. Von Karma was shot on her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked into this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ungard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you two will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation? My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct, for now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift her head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edwards as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edward. Bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Hero of the Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. Bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Heroes of Heroes award ceremony, sir. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jamming Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar, and we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then. Guitar case that updated in the court record. Only one set of fingerprints was found. However, we found out later that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. What convinced you that it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Correa, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. Our first order of business should be to gather more info on his testimony. But there may be a trap set up for us somewhere. Maybe. However, setting off traps is the best part of a lawyer's job too, if you say so. Of course, we're supposed to escape from them too, wouldn't you say? Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal, the ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. And there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say the murder occurred during the 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt Ungard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. So she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Ungard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body. After looking into the cause of death, we believe that he was definitely murdered, sir. The cause of death? Wasn't that because Miss Correa wasn't stabbed in the chest? Oh, a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Banana? His bandana, sir. That's the thing we wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Oh, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana? Then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Juan's autopsy type report submitted as evidence by Detective Gumshoe. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why did the police arrest Matt Ungard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe. Please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Why arrest Ungard? Matt Ungard and Juan Correa were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jamming Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Ungard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this premeditated murder. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty cleanly, sir. Knife, type weapon, submitted as evidence by Detective Gumshoe. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And this button is also covered in blood. Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Jamming Ninja's button had a court record. Type of evidence submitted by Detective Gumshoe. All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find a hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Why arrest on guard? Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Ungard was beating Mr. Correa in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, Detective, it's not, well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, that's... I look forward to your pension negotiations. No! Now, Detective, let's continue with the testimony. No, not my poor pension, too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello, anyone? Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? Oh, what do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Jamming Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. But Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. Or I knew it. I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found. We rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Correa. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say? Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? There is no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal. This isn't just some pocket knife. It's not really useful for anything. You can't just walk around with it either. Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove that it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix. Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. A body covered in the victim's blood and a knife with unguarded fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find a weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Oh, what do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Oh, well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, Wright? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So the defendant, the owner of this knife, then? There's the victim's blood and unguarded fingerprints. In the grip, gate wall water is engraved. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll know what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Premeditated. Man, I have trouble pronouncing that. Premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edwards? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is a hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize it. But I didn't know. Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from? Well, why? That's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corrida's roof. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate his last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There is a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Man on Guard. Especially that was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Matt Unguard's knife was missing. Mr. Unguard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edwards. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. It seems like Edwards had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints in the button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer something with wrong here, the gable of his will be the ringing out of the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to the court? Actually, I do. There is the one piece of evidence that catches my attention, something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for us all. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? This is a wine glass, is it not? Please take a look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken and his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were on top, at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. Man, sure dodged a bullet that time. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, to be continued, baby.